Hey there guys, it's Lance from CinematicGalaxy here, and I'm finally here at my review of Snow White and the Huntsman. I'm not really going to go into the plot here. All I really need to say is it's basically kind of a retelling of Snow White. This is a movie that I was really excited for. I had really high expectations from it for the trailers. And I'm one of those people, I'm not going to be biased against Kristen Stewart just because of Twilight. But anyway, I thought the movie looked really cool from the trailers. I thought the visuals just looked stunning, outstanding. And for the most part, I was satisfied. My expectations were pretty much fulfilled for the most part. Okay guys, I'm going to talk about the positives first. First of all, what did I like or love? Well, for one, I loved the opening 5 or so minutes of this film. Maybe it was a little more than that. But the opening minutes of this film were brilliant in my opinion. They were great. It was legitimately great filmmaking. Just the way everything was shot, the way the story was being told, it was very epic in scope. It looked amazing. Just everything was so well done, and I was very impressed, very surprised. The way we're introduced to the Queen's character I thought was very well done, very original, very unexpected for me as well. And it really kind of throws you off. Also, the cinematography and the visuals, all of it was breathtaking. It was really great. All of the CGI was fantastic. There was never a moment where I looked at it and said, that looks like a computer or that looks fake. No, it felt very real for this type of movie. It was very well done. I think there was a lot of practical effects as well. The costume design was fantastic. Again, everything related to that, everything that your eyes could see was really good. A lot of great attention to detail. I love the dark tone. I loved how it immediately gets you into that, and for the most part it stays pretty consistent in that category. Yeah, this is a very dark movie at times, and you see some disturbing things, and I thought that some of the things were cutting a little close for a PG-13, which, I didn't mind at all. I thought that James Newton Howard's score for this was great, very epic in scope. And now getting onto the actual performances, for the most part, I thought that everybody was very good in this film. I mean, everybody that we were introduced to was good. There were no bad actors in this film, really. I mean, even Kristen Stewart, I enjoyed her performance, so I'm going to get more into that a little bit later. I thought that her performance was fine. It was serviceable. Chris Hemsworth was also very good. I really liked his performance a lot. He really had a lot of surprisingly emotional depth and a lot of heart. I also did really like the actors for the dwarves in the movie, and the visual effects, which they shrunk them down to that size, were really just amazing, unbelievable. But by far my favorite performance in this movie, probably my favorite thing about this movie, other than the visual style and everything, is Charlize Theron. Absolutely. Wow, as the Queen, she looked amazing, she sounded amazing. Everything about her was a great classic villain. I mean, some people might say she's over the top at certain moments, and I'm not arguing with that. I kind of agree with that, but it didn't bother me. It didn't bug me at all with this film, because part of me still felt like, alright, this is a fairy tale. I don't mind that she's a little dramatic and over the top. I thought that she commanded the screen every time she was there. I mean, it really, you could just almost feel her chewing up the scenery, as they like to say. And she was breathtaking in this film, gorgeous in this film. And her performance, she was extremely intimidating. She's so tall, and she has that regal kind of look about her. Just, every time you see her, you're scared or something. She does some really awesome, brutal, horrible things in this film. And in fact, that leads me to what I didn't like so much about the film, is that the Queen was not in it enough. She was in it, it seemed like a lot, but she wasn't in it enough. I mean, she really should have been in it more. I just felt like, there's a big stretch where she's not on screen, and I kind of understand why they went there, and that's fine, to help us connect with Snow White and the Huntsman more. But I don't feel like the film achieved that a whole lot. I feel like the Queen might as well have had more scenes. Another problem, as I said before, was that it did kind of drag towards the middle. It didn't ever drag horribly, but it did drag. It did get kind of uninteresting. Honestly, it pains me to say it, but it kind of dragged when the dwarves were introduced. I mean, The dwarves are always my favorite thing about the Disney version of Snow White, and I really like them in this film, but I don't feel like they made quite that impression on us. And I don't know, they were good in this film, but I wish that they had made more of an impression, you know what I mean? I wish that we had gotten to care for them more and gotten to know them more as characters. And I honestly feel like the Disney version did that a little bit better than this version did. And also, one thing I will say about Kristen Stewart, even though I did like her in the role, and I'm not bashing her in this role, I think that she's being unfairly bashed. I do think that Snow White is a role that any other actress, you know, any other young, talented, pretty actress probably could have played. Like, you know, my personal pick for Snow White over Kristen Stewart would have been Emma Watson from the Harry Potter series, who played Hermione. I think that, I mean, there's nothing that I saw from Kristen Stewart that I don't think she could have done at least as well, if not better. I think Emma Watson, you know, for one, if you're going to talk about anybody being fairer than Charlize Theron, I think she might have fit that bill a little more. But then also, I feel like she could have brought the vulnerability to Snow White, which Kristen Stewart did. But I think that Emma Watson could have also brought something that Kristen Stewart didn't do a convincing job of to me, and that was the leadership. You know, the leadership that Snow White takes by the end of this film. I think that Emma Watson would have been a lot more convincing with that. So that's one of my problems with this movie. I didn't buy Snow White leading these people into war. It wasn't convincing to me. I honestly did like the Prince character William, who knew Snow White from her childhood. I did like that actor. I like the character. I just wish that, you know, he should have gotten a little more development, a little more to do. And again, I love Chris Hemsworth in the film, but I felt like he was actually also a bit underused. I wish that he had gotten more of a scene stealer type of moment. He wasn't really underused. I think he was just underutilized. I think he could have gotten a little more awesome things to do by the end of this film. And also, the film was a little anticlimactic. I like the ending of the film still, but I just wish that it had gone off with more of a bang. And again, that leads to a kind of bigger problem I have with this movie, that I wish that it had been, you know, this movie felt like it was on the cusp of greatness. It felt like it was really just missing a few links that kept it from being a great, great film. And, you know, it ended up being a very good movie, especially for a first-time director, Rupert Sanders. It was really great for that. But, you know, I felt like it could have been more. But that said, the movie did live up to my expectations because I leveled my expectations. I was a little underwhelmed, but it wasn't a disappointment. I wouldn't call it a disappointment. And I know it sounds like I said a lot of bad things just now, but those were things that I just felt were keeping this movie from being truly great. You know, I just think that it could have had a little more feeling, but overall, very solid film. I do plan on picking it up when it comes out on Blu-ray, and I'm going to give Snow White and the Huntsman a B+. So anyway, guys, let me know. Did you see Snow White and the Huntsman? How did you feel about it? Did you like it more than I did, or a little less than I did? And also, guys, let me know. Do you prefer the old Disney version of Snow White or this version of Snow White? Now, while I really enjoyed this version of Snow White, I gotta say I prefer the Disney version. You know, I grew up with that film for one, and I just love it so much for nostalgic reasons. But it really is a really well-made film. It was the first ever American full-length animated film, and I just think it's a classic. It's probably one of my favorite movies of all time. Just love it. Well, anyway, guys, thanks for watching this review, and take care of yourselves. This is Lance from Cinematic Galaxy, signing off.